Hello everyone, this is Laszlo Horvat from North Carolina, Zone 7B, back again, once again with video number 3, talking about how I built a raised bed out of cinder blocks and with a hoop house around it. And we'll continue this today, and let me go ahead and get going. I'm going to cover a few things I didn't cover in the last one. For instance, about the gravel and such, I'm going to cover that so you understand more about it. Let me move the camera so we can have the view of what I'm going to be talking about. There we go. Okay, what you're looking at is gravel that I purchased. It was 7 tons of gravel. It's a washed stone, and it cost me $24.75 per ton. And they're 1/4 inch average size. They're pea gravel. They do great protecting plant roots against voles, also walkway paths, or it can be used also as top layer for driveway gravel, or even used as a slow drainage gravel around house, not taking all the water away from plants. So it's a pretty good gravel. It's a 1/4 inch size, and it's I thought that would be perfect for as far as gardening goes. Now I also went out and well, this for I bought some topsoil that I'm mixing in with the trees I'll be planting. So just another thing I picked up and that I picked up at it was good topsoil, and you'll find that outside the city limits. Usually I found mine at Ace Hardware, and that was I think it was $50 for filling up my pickup truck with a big bucket of topsoil. And it was pretty good. It was very nice, rich looking topsoil. It's not the ordinary stuff you buy in bags or in town. You wouldn't even buy it. Or if you buy it, if you do find it, it's going to be mixed in with other stuff, and you're going to have weeds growing in it and things like that. So you don't want that kind of stuff that's been mixed with all kind of everything else. Anyway, so I just want you to see that part right there as far as the gravel itself. Getting back to what I was saying, as far as the peat that I talked to you about, again, the peat is very good to have if you're going to do any kind of gardening. You got to have peat. That's for the aeration and the water, holding of the water. It holds water so you don't have to water as much. And between the vermiculite and the peat and the proper compost and a layer of rock on the bottom for drainage, you will have an awesome garden. I mean, people tell me, you're going to have, when you start growing stuff in there, it's going to look like vegetables on steroids. Hopefully I will have them like that, because I've seen results here locally at a nursery, and they did a sample garden, raised garden, and just a small one. But it was an 8-footer by 4, and it was like huge plants in it. It was just like, when people walked by there, looked at it and said, "What in the heck? How did they get it to grow that big?" And it was just absolutely amazing. So I just wanted to share with you all. This is what it looked like, just to give you an example. I mean, huge. I mean, you walk by and say, "What the heck was that?" Look at that. This is what I'm talking about. It's absolutely beautiful. It's stunning just to even look at it. It's just mind-boggling. It's just, you just want to do it yourself. I think that's what they're doing, promoting it at the at the nursery. But anyway, getting back to what we were talking about earlier, I started to put together the base for the hoop house. And again, I was wondering, some people do it with 6 inches. I did it with an 8-inch, 2x8s instead of 2x6s. I think if it's going to be at least 25 foot long, 24 foot long, you need at least 8 inches instead of 6. I can see that for a smaller size, but this is, I had to make it that long and that wide because I need some space to walk around the raised garden inside. And the reason I did this is because the weather, I've seen my dad do gardening, and his vegetables got destroyed by heavy rains and winds and extreme sun, and it was just no control over the weather as far as the weather patterns and what they did with the vegetables. Some of it was good, but a lot of it got destroyed. It was just no good. And I said to myself, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right, I'm going to protect it, and I'm going to make sure that they grow nicely in underneath the hoop house. And I mean, this is not a small hoop house. This is pretty good size for a backyard that I built it in. And it's all assembled by nuts and bolts, so I can take it apart and move it someplace else if I want to, if I absolutely needed to. It's not attached to the land, so the city cannot say anything about it as far as anything being built. It's not a building, and it's not secured to the land. It's just sitting there, being held in place by. I used 4 foot metal stakes. And you'll see that in a minute. In fact, let me show you what I went out and bought brackets, because I was trying to figure out how to connect the corners instead of just using ordinary nails. I did it like this. I used these brackets and screwed them in, and you see this right here, this metal bar. Well, that's what I was talking about. It's 4 foot long, and I used that for the support for the hoops. And you'll see in a minute what I did with that. But anyway, that's the brackets to connect the ends instead of using nails into it. And that's pretty solid right there. And the next thing I did was those pieces that I cut off that I told you all about, the 1 foot off the 16 foot board on the ends. I cut off that 1 foot and connected the two 12-footers with bolts, with heavy duty bolts, as you can see. And then there's the other side of it. In fact, the one over here, as you notice, I'm missing one. I'm missing something. If you all noticed it, I'm sure somebody out there will notice. I had to find that. I lost it. I couldn't put it on there. Anyway, that's funny. Anyway, so that's what it looks like on the outside. And I put these washers on the outside there. I had to bang it through with a hammer, and those babies are pretty solid. Anyway, going on to the next one. I had to raise these things up because I was trying to level it, and I used these boards, anything I could put underneath, because the east side of the property is up, and the right hand side was not high enough, so I had to lift the west side up, and I had to lift it with these pieces of wood, and it was really ridiculous. By the time I got finished with it, the one end of it was up like a foot, almost as much. Well, yeah, almost as much as the board itself. And like right here, you can see how much gap there is in between here. You can see. Oh wait, the end. You can't see that at the end over here, but this is really open right here. I said, oh my goodness. But this part up at the top was the highest part right here. So I had to drop this down. At first I was going to fill it in, but I said, boy, that is a lot of dirt to fill in. So rather than do that, all I had to do was take this side and drop it down. I'm sorry, I'll take that back. This side and the back side over here, drop those down. In turn, these would drop down in front on this side. So let's go to the next one. I'll show you what happened. Eventually you'll see what happened. But this what it looked like. It was just ridiculous. I said, wow, see all that gap underneath there? All the way around over here? Oh my gosh. I said, there's a lot of dirt to put in there to fill that in. And then it would not be very secure, because you got all this loose dirt it's sitting on, and you could compact it, but it's not the same as going into solid ground. Anyway, let's go on to the next one. And that was, okay, that's just another. You can see it in the back over here. There's wood underneath here also. Wood everywhere. It's like I had to stick wood. I was lifting up the whole thing is what I was doing, instead of dropping it down. But for me to drop it down, I would have to dig it out. And so that's what it ended up being. Anyway, let me get that out of there. That was wood when I picked it up from the Lowe's. Anyway, let me go on to the next set of pictures. It was, let me see here. Well, let me just go back to talking about some of this before I go any further. And, wow, time is running out. It's almost 10 minutes going by, so I guess I have to wrap it up here. Okay, I guess we'll continue on the next video, and we'll actually get to how to dropping down the whole thing and leveling it out. And that will be a much better looking scenario than what you're looking at now. Thank you.